We're watching Sylvia's backstroke below the water. Commentary by Coach Chris. Right now we're watching it at full speed. Getting a nice elbow bend from your hands. So the pole's not looking too bad as far as how you're holding your hands and how you're pulling the water and getting a little elbow bend. Body position looks solid. So as we look here, your hips are fairly high. We can try and get them a little higher, but you're doing a good job of keeping your kick underwater. And I'm afraid if you get the hips too much higher, you're going to start hitting your knees on the surface. But you can see we have just a little clearance. So you have about an inch or so where you're not hitting the surface with that kick, which means we can use that inch to try and get the hips up just a little higher. And that just reduces that drag profile. So, you know, this is the shape of your body as it's going through the water. And if you can get those hips a little more in line, it'll just reduce your drag because you just won't be as big of a shape cutting through the water. So on the above water video, we talked about that shoulder roll. And so here's, at this part right here, when you're finishing that pull, this shoulder should already be out of the water. So at that point where you're at right here, you can see the shoulder, I just circled it. That shoulder should actually be already lifting up out of the water at the bottom of the pull. But right now, you've just finished the pull and that shoulder's still underwater, it's still flat. So you're rotating the arm up, but you can see the shoulder is still underwater here. If you watch a video of one of the top backstrokers or a world-class backstroker, and there's plenty of those online, you're going to see that they get that entire shoulder out of the water as they reach up and as they lead the stroke. And it gives them a lot of shoulder movement. And we'll talk about that on the head-on video where you can generate power, because if you connect the two shoulders and rotate them, you can use your body weight to kind of torque and create energy and create pull. So we can look at your arm pull though. If you can get the shoulder to work right and you can get the shoulder to lead the stroke, you're going to have a big boost in your pull because your hand right here is in the right position. You have a nice catch. You have a nice elbow bend. So you have the arm part down really well. We're just not getting the shoulder into a powerful position right now. And you can see it's kind of flat and it's still in kind of the same plane it was before. Yeah, we could just increase the power a ton if we can just get a little more shoulder roll. Good job on the kick. You're not, like I said, you're not kicking too high. You're not getting your knees out or your feet out, so you're getting power out of the kick. Okay, this is part of the areas we can always improve is these turns. If you watch where you're landing, your feet are low. Your head's low. So we're going to stay rather low. But we're not going to have a super powerful push off. What we want to do is take that spot where our feet are landing right now and get it to land, get them to plant on the wall a little bit higher above this crossbar on the wall, above, like right under the surface. So right now your feet are just a little low. Not the worst I've seen, but they're just a little low, which is going to reduce your power. I really like this initial glide. Something we work really hard on in this group. But you can kind of see the feet as you're gliding, moving around. It's another thing. Just be real focused on staying tight and firm and try to keep, see that drifting and wiggling? Try to keep that to a minimum because you are losing speed as you do that. Here's our dolphin kicks. And by the time we start our dolphin kicking, our streamline is pretty much completely gone. You've let go. You have two separate hands now. Your arms are now moving around. You can watch them move around. Okay, that's not making your kick better. It's making you have more drag. It's a very, very, very big, important area where you can improve. And here you're taking your first stroke, and you're about a foot underwater. So this stroke that you're trying to take right now, that needs to happen right here, right as your face is hitting the surface, is when you want to break the streamline and take that first stroke. But now you're taking that stroke and you've got all this water you're about to have to move through. So let yourself be more patient. Get closer to the surface. Okay, you need to take that last dolphin kick and start a flutter kick and then take that first stroke. Basically, you should be separating your streamline, taking that first stroke right here, not while you're still underwater. Good catch. Your arm has all the pieces. It just doesn't have the shoulder leverage in order to get the power we want. So we can really quickly increase power if we just get that shoulder leverage. So good job. Still need to clean up a few things with the turn, but your turns are looking solid on this video. Big thing is just get the feet to plant higher on the wall. When they fall low like that, that's a low power position. If we can plant the feet higher on the wall, you're going to get a much more powerful push off. And you're also going to have a lot more control over the depth that you're going on that streamline. Okay, streamline started out really good glide. Once we started dolphin kicking, though, you let go of the streamline, and we're now doing the two separate hands side by side where we're trying to make the kick motion with the hands. That's not very effective. It increases drag. It feels like you're doing more, but it's not going to be as fast. So keep the streamline tight. Be more patient. Let yourself get closer to the surface before you take that first stroke for that breakout. And you're going to notice a big improvement on your backstroke swims because all that time in and out of the wall, that adds up a lot. Let's take one last look at your stroke underwater as you swim head on into the camera.